So I'm going to show you a couple things on here of what to do if you have x's or any kind of variables on both sides of the equal sign. Take a second, pause it, write down what you see, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so we're going to do a couple things differently. Same overall goal works out, but the first thing you're going to have to ask yourself is, can I simplify either side individually? Okay, so I'm going to look on the left. Can I distribute or combine like terms? I'm going to look on the right side. Can I distribute or combine like terms? Okay, so if I'm looking at my first two equations, there's nothing that I can do to simplify right here. 3d plus 5, he's done. There's nothing that I can do to simplify on this right side. So I would be able to move on. Okay, but on problem 2, when I see this set of parentheses, that means there's something that I'm going to need to do first. Okay, so on that problem, I would need to distribute that as my step 1. Okay, 2 times x would make 2x. 2 times 10 would make 20. That is what step 1 will look like. It's us looking for anything we can distribute or combine before we get into moving stuff. Okay? All right, my second step is which side has the most variables. Now this is going to be more of a number in front of the x that you're looking at. So if I look at problem 1 and I say, okay, there's a d value on both sides, which number is more? Well, that's going to be the 5. So what we're going to do in that situation is we're going to go ahead and ask ourselves, if I'm going to keep the 5 in the same place, that means I need to cancel out the 3 and move it over there with him. Well, how would I cancel out a positive 3d? I would minus it. I would subtract it away. So what I do to one side, I have to make sure that I do to the other. And I put that little dashed line in there because you're doing it on the other side of the equal. Okay, so minus 3d from the other side. If you're curious why I did not put it right here, that's because the 7 doesn't have a d. I cannot put that under 7 because they're not like terms. So I'm putting the d value together, and then we can simplify that. Okay, so the 3d's are going to cancel. I'm left with 5 equals 2d minus 7. Okay. If we did the same thing for problem 2, we would be asking ourselves which side has more x's. Well, between the 8x and the 2x, that would be the 8. So I'm going to take my 2x's, cancel them out. It's a positive, so I need to subtract it. Minus 2x. What I do to one side, I have to do on the other side. So I'm going to move minus 2x to the other also. 2x's are going to cancel out, and we would say, well, what do I have left over? 8x's minus 2x makes 6x's plus a 2 equals 20, okay? Both of these equations are now in a situation where all you have to do is solve. So solving looks the same way it did on 1.1. We're going to cancel out the loner, cancel out the best friend, and we will have our answer. So if I look at problem number 1 now, same thing we did before. Who's on the side with the variable who looks like the loner? That's the 7. 7 subtracting, so that means I need to add it. And what I do to one side, I have to do on the other side. 7's are going to cancel. 5 plus 7 makes a 12. So we have 12 equals 2d. I need to get d by itself, which means we're getting rid of 2. Remember that that is the same as saying 2 times d. So to get rid of a multiplication, we need to divide. Also remember that you are never going to put this symbol in solving. You're going to use a fraction instead. So divide by 2. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so you just have 1d left over. 12 divided by 2 makes a whole number 6, and that is our answer. Okay? If you need to pause that or listen to it again, feel free to do that now. Otherwise, we're going to finish problem 2. Number 2, we distributed. That's the simplify. We brought all our variables to one side. That was canceling out 2x. Now we're going to finish it. We're going to cancel off the loner. That's the 2. So minus 2 from both sides. 2's are going to cancel. We have 6x equals 18. One more step. We're going to cancel out that 6 by doing divide by 6 on both sides. And unfortunately, I ran out of space. I have the added bonus of being able to do that. So we're going to squeeze in our answer. 6's cancel. I have 1x equals 3. And that is my final answer. Okay. All right, we're going to put that all together on one problem at a time. Okay. I'm going to keep it color-coded the same way, though. So problem 3. Remember, the first thing I'm looking for is, can I simplify either side first? 4x minus 13, nothing to do there. 8x minus 13, nothing to do there. All right, so let's get rid of that. Then I'm going to look and see, do I have more variables on one side? Yes, I have the most variables over there where the 8x is. So let's get all of our x's over there. If I'm going to move the 4x to the other side, I can't just pick it up and move it. I got to cancel it first. How do you cancel out a positive 4x? Well, I'm going to subtract it. And what I do to one side, I have to make sure I do to the other side. So minus 4x again. We have a negative 13 equals 4x minus 13. Remember, once you get it down to number, variable, number, you are ready to solve. So we're going to go back to our solving color, that's green. And we're going to go ahead and get the loner to go away. The loner that is on the side with x would be my negative 13 or minus 13. So I'm going to add 13 to both sides. What I do to one, I do to the other. This guy cancels. And now some of you might say, doesn't this cancel too? It does, but we still need a number here. We still have to have a number here. So what is negative 13 plus 13? Yes, it cancels, but we still need a 0. Okay, so we're going to say 0 equals 4x. So I would ask you, are we done right now? No, because the x isn't alone. Okay, so we need to still go one more step. How do I get rid of the 4? Well, remember the 4 is multiplying. So if I'm going to do that, I have to divide. The 4's cancel. I'm left with my 1x, just one of them. Now, what is 0 divided by 4? Well, we can use the calculator, or you could know that that's 0. Okay? 0 is our final answer. These are the most commonly missed questions because people really, really like to stop right there. Okay? I need you to know that until you get the x alone, you are not done. Okay? All right. Problem number 4, remember that we are starting with the question, can I simplify on the left side? Nope. Can I simplify on the right side? No. So the next thing I'm looking for is, do I have more variables on one side? Yes, that 9 is definitely bigger. All right, so if I get rid of this 3w, how would I move him? Well, he's a negative. That means I'm going to add to cancel. What I do to one side, I do to the other. That means I'm left with 18 equals 12 w's plus 18. Now you'll notice we're going to see that same thing again, because when I go to solve and I say who's on the side with the w, that's the loner, that's my 18. How do I get rid of a plus 18? I subtract it. And remember, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, so that means we're subtracting 18 over here also. You cannot just say 12 equals w, okay? That doesn't line up. There's no equal sign there. I agree you have 12w, but you need a number here. Okay, well, what is 18 minus 18? Keep the 0. We're not done. I need to get rid of the 12. That 12 is multiplying, so we're going to divide it. And that is going to give me 0. That is the end of my problem. Okay? All right, let's put all that together, and we're going to tackle a longer problem. Okay? All right, so stay slow. If you need to pause and go back for the explanation, feel free to do that. All right, so in blue writing, first thing I'm going to look for is there anything to distribute or combine? Yes, I can distribute. 2 times 6x is 12x. 2 times 3 is 6. And I'm bringing down 3x. If I look at the same thing over here, I have more distributing. Now 4 times 4x is 16x. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 7 comes down. I'm still not done. Because if I look right here, those guys can combine, right? That makes 15x's plus 6. If I look on the other side, these guys combine. 8 minus 7 makes a 1. That equation got a lot easier, and all I've done is simplify so far. Okay? So step 2, we're saying, do I have more x's on one side? Yes, I definitely have more x's here with the 16. Let me make that bigger. Okay, so how do I get the 15 over there? It's positive, so I need to cancel it. And remember that I'm looking at the positive here. I'm not looking at that one. Okay, so it's a positive. I'm going to subtract 15x's. What I do to one side, I do on the other side of the equal sign. When the 15's cancel, I bring down what I have. 6 equals, what's 16 minus 15? Well, 1x. Do I need the 1? Nope. Okay, so if I take that out, then I just have x plus 1, right? Let me go ahead and move this out of the way, actually. Okay, so that means I have one more step for the solving. I have no number next to x. There won't be any dividing. All I got to do is get rid of this little guy. You guys already know what to do. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides. 6 minus 1 is 5. That means 5 is our answer. 5 equals x. Okay. If you missed anything on this page, pause it, copy down what you need. I'll meet you on the next page.